everyone, my name's Andrew Cole. Welcome to the Finishing Post. This is just a weekly segment just previewing Saturday racing. We've got some great racing at Rosehill on Saturday, including 3 Group 1s, so we're looking forward to that. We also have the mighty mare Black Caviar returning on Friday night at the Valley, which is always good to see, and we'll take a look at a couple of races at Caulfield. Nothing special on, so we'll preview those for you, but let's get straight into it. Alright, the first race we're going to look at is the Melian Shandong Stakes at 1200 metres with Group 2 level for the 2-year-old fillies. It's really a 2-horse race. You've got the 2 Spruiked fillies here, Villa Verde and Overreach. Villa Verde did beat Overreach last campaign, but has come up the second favourite here. Overreach's last run was brilliant. It was a 4-5 length win. It was unbelievable, and it looks the horse to beat here. But Villa Verde, if it can improve on its last campaign, it's going to be a great race. And I think the best way to play this race is just quinella those two together. You might get about $1.90, $2, and I think that's good value. Otherwise, I can't split them. The next race we've got is the Todman Stakes at 1200 metres for the Colts, 2-year-old level. Charlie Boy's come up our favourite here at 420. He's a very good horse. He's not a winner, but he's getting better and better with his runs. I think last start he came 30. He was just too far back in it, and he couldn't breach the gap. I think this time, if he's more up there and maybe 5th or 6th place, he'll be flying home. And if he's close enough, he's going to be very hard to beat. I think his main danger is Fast and Rocking, the David Hayes trained horse. It's been very consistent. I think at $8 it's not bad value here. I think that's the horse that can beat it. The other ones you've got the Never Can Tell, the Anthony Cummings horse, which beat Whittington about a month ago. Whittington won 2 weeks ago, so the form's good there. And you've also got the Queenslander Whiskey Around, which is very good in 2nd place last start, and it looks a very good horse. But I think if you're looking to bet on this race, I think Charlie Boy's the one. If you can get about $4.50 for him now, if you can get anything between $4 and $4.50, you're doing well. I think he's a very good horse, and he's actually my best bet of the day in Sydney, so I think he's the one to look at. In the next race, race 5, we've got the Far Lap Stakes at 1500 metres, Group 2 level. I've narrowed it down to 2 horses here. The favourites come up Asher Khan at the $4.50 mark. I think he's a bit short, but the other horse that I've looked at is Albrecht. He has been very dour in his Melbourne runs. Last campaign in Sydney was very impressive, coming 2nd to Epaulet in the run to the Rose. I think if he can repeat his Sydney form, he's going to be extremely hard to beat, and I think at $6 it's good value. Looking at a blowout chance here, maybe High Shot, trained by Mick Candum. His first run was unbelievable, but since then he's gone up to Group 1 level. He struggled a little bit, just not up there. So coming back to Group 2 maybe here, he might be a chance, and around the $12 he shows a bit of value there. But yeah, I think on top, I think Albrecht's the horse to beat. He has good Sydney form, so he's the one for me in that race. On to race 6 now, the Rambit Stakes at 2000 metres. This is a very good race here. Plenty of chances. I think your favourites come up here 5.5 star, and I'm not sure 5.5 star deserves to be favourite. 2,400 metre form is very good. Won the Derby obviously last year, but 2,000 metres, I think he hasn't won a race at 2,000, I don't think, and I think he needs an extra 400. I think your best bet here is Silent Achiever, 360. I think it should be favourite, but at 360, I think take those odds, and it should run a very good race. 2,000 metres is pet distance, so I think that's one to look at. Maybe if you're looking at a bit of value, Manigar and Sangster, they're both around the $10 to $12 mark. Manigar, the Peter Moody trained horse, its last campaign was brilliant, of course winning 3 Group 1s. His last run was a bit suspect, but I think if he can get back to its best, it's going to be very hard to beat. And you've got the Kiwi Sangster. It's won its last 3 races, a couple of group races in New Zealand, and I think at 13, I think it's about $12, at the moment. That's not bad odds, so it could run a cheeky race. And if you want a real roughie, maybe something for your trifectas, Kalini at $21, trained by Chris Waller. I think it probably needs a bit more distance, but its last campaign was brilliant. It's had two good runs, just about 1600 metres up to 2000 metres. It could run a cheeky race, and don't be surprised if that comes in and wins the race. On to our next race, race 7, the Coolmore Classic at 1500 metres at Group 1 level. For the fillies and mares, this is a great race. Plenty of good horses in here. I've narrowed it down to a few horses. I think the one to beat is Dear Demi. She's at $7 at the moment. Her last run was very good. She was a bit more forward last start, and she was there right in the finish and rocketed home to win by about a length. I think at $7 she's the way to go each way. I think she's a very good horse, and she will be up in the upward spiral. Favourites come in Norzita here. She was a little bit disappointing last start. There's been a bit of debate if Stephen Arnold should have gone harder on her, but she was overtaken by Flying Snitzel with a breathtaking run. But I think she'll be better with James McDonald on board. He knows her well, and I think she'll be there in the finish. And Steps in Time's going to be in front. She'll be the one to catch, and if she can breach a bit of a gap, she might be very hard to catch down. She's around the $6. That's not a bad price. And maybe something a bit of value, Bonetta at $8.50. She's in very good form. Her last start was a little disappointing. She was a short favourite, beaten by Dear Demi, but I think that's a bit of a forgive run. So at $8, she comes in at a bit of value. So yeah, but it's a very open race and plenty of chances. Now we'll go to look at the Canterbury Stakes at 1300 metres at Group 1 level. This is a very good version of the Canterbury Stakes here. I've narrowed it down to 3 horses here. You've got the Peter Moody trained Moment of Change. You've got the Waterhouse pair of More Joyous and Piero. It's you've got Piero at 260, equal favourite with More Joyous. I like Moment of Change at the value here, maybe a little each way bet at about $6 at the moment. But I think Piero's the best horse in the race. He should win, but at the value, Moment of Change is not bad. But if you're looking to bet on this race, I think a win bet on Piero, that's the way to go in that race. First race we're going to be looking at Moonee Valley is it's race 6, the Sunlion Stakes, Group 2 level. It's a very good race. I've narrowed it down to 3 horses. The 2 top weights, Lights of Heaven and Spirit of Song, they're equal favourites around the $4.55 mark. But the one I like here is High Bell. At $7, I think it's a great each way bet. It's been racing very well, and I think $7 is great odds. I think another one that could produce is There's Only One. Its last run wasn't great, but before that it was a great slashing home win at about $10, and I think if it can get back and there's a bit of pace in the race, it will be flying home. And obviously Moonee Valley is not the best track for that, but I think if it can produce its best, it's going to be right there in the finish. But I think, yeah, go with High Bell each way, and I think that's one of the best bets there. Race 8, of course, we've got the William Reid Stakes at 1200 metres, Group 1 level. The mighty mare Black Caviar returns. It's just a pleasure to see her go around every race she's in. She'll win, obviously. She's $1.06 with Sportingbet, which is a bit generous. I don't know how long that will be going around for, but she'll be too good. She'll win. It's always a pleasure to watch her, but I think if you go in the Black Caviar out market, I think Faulkner's the one. Faulkner's at $7 in the Black Caviar out market, and I think that's great odds. It's a very good fresh horse. 1200 metres, I think that's good for it first up, and I think at $7, that's great odds. With the Black Caviar out, they've got Lucky Grey favourite, and it's a bit suspect. It's got the Perth form, but that Perth form hasn't turned out to be too great. So I think if you go with that race, yeah, Faulkner. Just the one race at Caulfield we're looking at. It's the Thoroughbred Club Cup, and that's at listed level. My best bet of the day for Caulfield here, ready to rip. $4.50 favourite, Peter Moody, Brad Wheeler, 60 kilos, a bit of weight, but it is the best horse in the race. It was unlucky last start, beaten by the up-and-coming Isabella Snowflake, so I think take the $4.50 and get onto that. I think if there's a danger, it's undeniably, it'll be the on-pace horse, and it will be setting the pace. So it might be hard to catch, but I think Ready to Rip's too good here. And maybe if you want a bit of value, check out Honeyflower. Honeyflower was very good in the spring campaign at one on Oaks Day at around $10. It's an up and coming horse. So I think around the $12. If that can improve on this campaign, that will also run a very good race. Off to my best bets now. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Good luck on the punt, and we'll see you next week.